Hello there. Today I'm attending the Wine Future Conference in Coimbra in Portugal, and the wine I'm looking at here amongst an array of fantastic Portuguese wines is Mouchao Alentejo Tinto 2016, and this is a wine that's predominantly made from a grape variety called Alentejo DOC, which is 85% of the blend, and then the remaining 15% is a variety called Trexidura. The estate here, Herdade de Mouchão, has, I believe, 900 hectares of land, but they actually only have 42 of those in vine because they've very carefully selected the best soils, and in this case, these soils are alluvial soils, and they're in the track of an old river, so there's actually water flowing under the ground, and this provides sufficient moisture for the grapes to grow without any need of irrigation under what are really quite warm and otherwise dry conditions. Alentejo DOC itself, it's a large DOC that spreads almost to the south of Portugal. It's in a sparsely populated area with an awful lot of cork trees growing, so there's quite a wide variety of soil types here, and the styles of wine vary enormously. This particular wine comes from two older vineyards. There's the Carapeitos vineyard, which has the Trexidura and some of the older Alentejo DOC, and then there's the Herdade vineyard, which they just take Alentejo DOC. These two vineyards, the first is 25 years old and the second 18 years old. So there's some good maturity on the vines here. Average yields are somewhere in the region of 4 tonnes per hectare, so pretty low. Now the great thing about this is a winery where they only got electricity 12 years ago. So most of this is done entirely by hand. Picking is by hand into shallow baskets so the fruit is undamaged. At the winery, the fruit goes into stone lagars where it's foot trodden. You know, this is as traditional winemaking as you can get. From the lagars, the fruit is then emptied into hand-powered basket presses. So the pressing is very gentle and you get lovely smooth tannins coming out of that. And then the wine has some really quite exceptional aging. It's aged in wooden casks, large old casks, a mixture of different sort of timbers. They'll use old oak, Portuguese oak, chestnut barrels, and they're also using mahogany barrels. And the wine will stay in these barrels for 4 years. They're old barrels, so there's not a huge flavour influence from that, but there's plenty of time for oxygen to seep in through the barrel and to fix the aromas and to modify and smooth the tannins. As a producer, these guys are in no hurry because this wine then spends 3 years in bottle before release. So everything is done very carefully over a long period of time. I should just mention Alentejo DOC is interesting as a variety. It's a crossing. It was created in 1866 by Henri Boucher in southern France. And the idea originally was to create a wine that would beef up cheaper, higher yielding blends, because Alentejo DOC is what they call a Tenturier. And so it was a crossing between Petit Boucher and Grenache. But a Tenturier is a grape variety that has coloured flesh as well as coloured skin. So it's a good supplier of deep, dark colour. This is always going to be an intense wine. So let's have a look at the wine, shall we? I mean, having just said that about it being a Tenturier, the wine has deep, dark colour. It's virtually opaque. I might just be able to see the stem of the glass at the bottom there, but only just. Swirling it, the wine has 15% alcohol according to its label, and it does seem to be forming some reasonable tears on the side of the glass. They're slow to form because of the viscosity of the wine. So let's see what we make of the aroma, shall we? That's a lovely, rich, high-toned, concentrated, ripe aroma. The aroma's a deep, dark plum, dams and bullies. There are rich, chocolatey notes. There's dried fruit notes in there. There's a lot going on in there, but it's all concentrated. Maybe some tiny touches of spice, but they're not prevalent, not sort of rich cinnamon as you get it when wine aged in new oak or something like that. Just tiny hints of wood. So let's have a taste and see what we make of that. wine is rich and smooth. All that time in barrel and bottle has allowed the texture to become smooth, chocolatey, velvety. The fruit is wonderfully ripe and rich. There's a sort of a bursting red and black cherry note to it. It's because there's lovely acidity to lift the fruit. The alcohol is rounding out the back palate quite nicely. Tannins, there is a firm gripping tannin in there, but there's enough fruit and warmth that that's not drying up the finish, but it is leaving a spicy, maybe slightly licoricey grip at the end there. There is a sweet licorice concentration to the back palate, which combined with the lovely freshness sort of leaves a black, almost black currant, black berry sort of note on the finish there. This is a beautifully balanced wine. It's got enough freshness and acidity, but its flavours are lovely and long. It has a harmony that's very attractive, and my understanding is that this is a wine that will age spectacularly, which would make sense given its structure, its acidity, and the way that all the elements are balanced there. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you found the video of interest. If you've enjoyed watching it, do please leave your comments, do like and share. Do consider signing up and following us on YouTube. That would be fantastic. But most importantly, I do hope you'll join us for another tasting in the very near future. Thanks again. Bye now.